So everyone, Jason Gilbo here at JGilbo11, breaking down some stacks for tonight's slate. Talked about pitching. There's Chris Sale. You're probably not going to be fitting a good stack in there with him, but there are some cheaper options you can definitely do so with. And looking at basically three stacks outside of cores as always. Two are expensive pivots, but I do like in kind of tournament fashion. You got one cheap stack I don't mind tonight, and that's Detroit. Price tags are very nice, especially on DraftKings. Justin Upton, JD Martinez, both 4,400. Miguel Cabrera, 3,400. Alex Avila, 4,100. You don't have to play him. You can play another part of that stack, like a Kinsler or something like that. But Avila, I don't mind there, hitting left or hitting right-handed pitching really well. And you look at Cobb this year, 357 WOBA on the road. He's allowed a 300 WOBA when at home, so noticeable difference there. 35.5% hard contact rate to righties, 41.7% to lefties, which is why I mentioned Avila there. Strikeout rate also sits below 18% against both sides, which is also a plus. Winning strike rate 7.4%. Just a note there because of this high strikeout tendencies that the Tigers do have. You look at Avila, 4.45 WOBA against righties this year. Cabrera, low BAV against righties, 36% line drive rate, 40% hard contact rate, so nothing really indicating struggles there. JD Martinez, he's cooled off a bit. Justin Upton, both over 200 ISO against righties this year, so definitely in play. High total there against the right-hander that doesn't miss a ton of bats. We saw the blow potential that Cobb has 2 starts ago against Seattle, where he gave up about 9. So I do like the potential here. Going to Washington, well, not Washington, going to Citi Field, but liking Washington here. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, Daniel Murphy. It is an expensive stack. It's basically the price of a core stack and maybe even more. Look at Selman, reverse splits this season, which bodes well for Trey Turner, Ryan Zimmerman, who Turner also reverse splits. Zimmerman's just crushing, regardless of hand. 387 WOBA to righties, 1.29 home runs per 9, 11.5% strikeout rate. Looking at Turner, he's the only one who doesn't have a 200 ISO in this lineup against righties, but it's 188. That's fine. He's got the stolen base upside as well. Harper and Zimmerman both have ISOs over 300 against righties. Everyone strikes out at less than a 20% rate. I'm just kind of curious to see why the run total is actually a little bit lower. It's only about 4.5. I was kind of expecting more, but on the road, you're guaranteed that 9th inning, so that's a plus for me. Next one here, Boston's offense has kind of started to heat up. We've seen good starts to stacks for Boston over the last few games, but they haven't really finished that way. It's also been a lot of one-man damage like Mookie Betts. Curious to see. It looks like Mitch Moreland's banged up. Boston doesn't have the DH, so you have to see whether it's Hanley or Moreland in the lineup. But Betts, Pedroia, Bogarts, Benintendi, all in play for me. They're on the expensive side. But you look at Pivetta, inexperienced arm, 375 WOBA to lefties, 428 WOBA to right-handers. Has already allowed 5 home runs to right-handers this year with a 39% hard contact rate. A ton of fly balls. Bogarts, Pedroia obviously don't have a ton of power, but this is actually a really good spot against the fly ball pitcher. Drive some extra base hits. I don't hate that the ISOs are lacking. And you look at Benintendi. Benintendi continues to hit the ball well. 177 ISO against righties this year. He's heated up over the last week or so. So I don't mind Boston as that third option. And then Colorado, much more in play for me as in terms of a stack. Arenado, Desmond, Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, all in play. I like the righties there in that lineup, and then Blackmon. So that's what I'm looking at tonight. So you can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com, check out the rest of our great tools and content.